What happens when love turns to obsession? What if the person you vowed to spend your life with, the one you trusted, the one you built a family with, becomes your worst enemy? What if the person who promised to love you forever is the one who ends your life? This is the story of Michael Turner, a 35-year-old real estate agent from Austin, Texas. To the outside world, Michael had it all: a successful career, a beautiful home, and a loving family. But behind closed doors, his life was unraveling. In October 2023, Michael was found dead in his own home, and what followed was a shocking investigation that uncovered betrayal, jealousy, and a deadly plot orchestrated by the last person anyone suspected, his own wife. Michael's death was no accident. It wasn't a random act of violence. It was a cold, calculated crime. A crime born out of jealousy, obsession, and a love turned deadly. And as investigators began to piece together the evidence, they discovered a web of lies, deceit, and betrayal that would shock everyone who thought they knew the truth. This is the story of how a marriage built on love crumbled into a nightmare of deceit and murder. This is the story of Michael Turner, and the woman who vowed to love him, but instead destroyed him. Michael Turner was more than just a name in a police report. He was a 35-year-old real estate agent, known for his charisma, ambition, and dedication to his work. Friends and colleagues described him as a man who could light up any room with his smile. He had a way of making everyone around him feel seen, heard, and valued. Whether he was closing a deal or coaching his son's little league team, Michael gave his all to everything he did. Michael had built a successful career in Austin, Texas, and was admired for his work ethic. He was the kind of person who turned dreams into reality, helping families find their perfect homes and building a legacy of trust and excellence in his community. But Michael's success wasn't just about his career. It was about the life he had built with his high school sweetheart, Lisa Turner, and their 2 young children. Michael and Lisa's love story began in high school. They were the couple everyone admired, high school sweethearts who seemed destined to be together. They built a life filled with love, laughter, and dreams for the future. On the surface, their life seemed perfect: a beautiful home in the suburbs, 2 adorable children, and a bright future ahead. But behind closed doors, cracks were beginning to show. Rumors of infidelity and tension in their marriage started to surface. Friends and family noticed that Michael and Lisa weren't the same couple they once were. The laughter had faded, replaced by silence and distance. Michael, ever the optimist, tried to hold things together. But Lisa's jealousy and resentment were growing, and Michael had no idea just how far she was willing to go. Little did Michael know, his life was about to take a deadly turn. The man who had dedicated his life to building dreams for others would soon become the victim of a nightmare he never saw coming. On October 12, 2023, Michael Turner failed to show up for an important meeting. It was a meeting he had been preparing for weeks, a deal that could change the trajectory of his career. But when the clock struck 9 a.m., Michael was nowhere to be found. Concerned colleagues tried calling him, but his phone went straight to voicemail. Texts went unanswered. It was as if Michael had vanished into thin air. When Michael's colleagues couldn't reach him, they did the only thing they could think of: they called Lisa. But her response was anything but reassuring. She claimed she hadn't seen Michael since the previous night. She said he had come home late, as usual, and left early for work. But something about her tone felt off. Something about her story didn't add up. Surveillance footage from the Turner home told a different story. It showed Michael arriving late that night, just as Lisa had said. But there was no sign of him leaving the next morning. Instead, the footage captured Lisa leaving the house early, carrying a large duffel bag. She walked quickly, her head down, as if trying to avoid being seen. When investigators questioned her about the bag, her story changed. First, she said it was laundry. Then, she claimed it was old clothes she was donating. But her nervous demeanor and inconsistent answers raised red flags. By the next day, Michael's car was found abandoned in a remote area outside Austin. The doors were unlocked, the keys still in the ignition. But there was no sign of Michael. No note. No explanation. Just an eerie silence that left everyone asking the same question. Where was Michael? And why was Lisa acting so strangely? This was no ordinary disappearance. This was the beginning of a mystery that would unravel a web of lies, betrayal, and murder. When police searched the Turner home, they didn't just find an empty house. They found traces of blood in the master bedroom, small, almost imperceptible stains that told a chilling story. It was clear that Michael hadn't just disappeared. He had been harmed. And as investigators began to piece together the evidence, they uncovered a web of lies, betrayal, and jealousy that would shock everyone who thought they knew the truth. Lisa Turner quickly became the prime suspect. She was the last person to see Michael alive, and her inconsistent stories about his disappearance only deepened the investigators' suspicions. But as they dug deeper, they uncovered another name, Rachel Carter, a 28-year-old woman who had been having an affair with Michael. Rachel was ambitious, manipulative, and unapologetically bold. She had been working with Michael on a real estate deal, and their professional relationship had quickly turned personal. Friends and colleagues described their affair as an open secret, one that Lisa had eventually discovered. And when she did, her jealousy and rage knew no bounds. Lisa was known to be fiercely possessive of Michael. She had always been the kind of woman who demanded loyalty, and the discovery of his affair shattered her. But Rachel was no innocent bystander. She was ambitious and calculating, with a reputation for getting what she wanted, no matter the cost. Both women had motives, but only one had the opportunity. The breakthrough in the case came when investigators uncovered a series of text messages between Lisa and Rachel. The messages were chilling, to say the least. They revealed a plot so cold, so calculated, it sent shivers down the spines of even the most seasoned detectives. Lisa had discovered the affair months earlier, and her jealousy had festered into something far darker. She had been planning her revenge, biding her time, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And when that moment came, she didn't hesitate. As investigators pieced together the evidence, a disturbing picture began to emerge. Lisa's jealousy, Rachel's ambition, and Michael's tragic fate were all connected in a deadly web of betrayal. But the question remained, who was truly responsible for Michael's death? On the night of October 11th, 2023, the Turner home was anything but peaceful. What started as a quiet evening quickly turned into a nightmare. Lisa had discovered Michael's affair with Rachel Carter, and the weight of that betrayal was too much to bear. She confronted him, her voice trembling with anger and hurt. But what began as an argument soon escalated into something far more sinister. Lisa's jealousy and rage consumed her. In a fit of uncontrollable anger, she grabbed the knife from the counter and attacked Michael. She stabbed him multiple times, her hands trembling but her resolve unwavering. The man she had once loved, the father of her children, lay lifeless on the kitchen floor. But Lisa's crime didn't end there. Lisa knew she had to cover her tracks. She cleaned the scene meticulously, scrubbing away every trace of blood. She disposed of the knife in a remote area, hoping it would never be found. And then, she staged the scene to make it look like a break-in gone wrong. Chairs were overturned, drawers were ransacked, and a window was left slightly ajar. Lisa thought she had the perfect alibi, but she underestimated the investigators. Lisa's motive was clear. She couldn't bear the thought of losing Michael to another woman. Her jealousy and obsession had driven her to commit the unthinkable. She had convinced herself that if she couldn't have him, no one could. But her plan began to unravel when investigators found inconsistencies in her story. The staged break-in didn't add up. The bloodstains, though faint, were still visible, and Lisa's nervous demeanor only deepened their suspicions. As investigators pieced together the evidence, the truth became impossible to ignore. Lisa Turner had murdered her husband in a fit of jealous rage. She had tried to cover her tracks, but the truth has a way of coming to light. And when it did, it revealed a crime so brutal, so calculated, it shocked everyone who thought they knew her. This was not a crime of passion. This was a cold, calculated act of betrayal, a betrayal that would leave a family shattered and a community in shock. On October 15th, 2023, just 4 days after Michael Turner's murder, Lisa Turner was arrested. Investigators had found traces of blood in her car, blood that matched Michael's DNA. It was the breakthrough they needed. Lisa, who had tried so hard to cover her tracks, had made a fatal mistake. And as the evidence piled up, her story began to crumble. Rachel Carter, the woman at the center of the affair, was also questioned. But investigators quickly realized she had no direct involvement in Michael's murder. Rachel was ambitious and manipulative, but she wasn't a killer. The focus remained squarely on Lisa, the woman who had vowed to love Michael but instead destroyed him. Lisa was charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. The trial that followed was a media sensation, with every detail of the case scrutinized by the public. Prosecutors presented a mountain of evidence: text messages between Lisa and Rachel, forensic evidence from the crime scene, and witness testimonies from friends and colleagues who had seen the cracks in Michael and Lisa's marriage. The evidence was overwhelming. Lisa's jealousy, her meticulous planning, and her attempts to cover her tracks all pointed to one conclusion: she was guilty. And when the jury returned with their verdict, there was no doubt in anyone's mind. Lisa Turner was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For Michael's family, the verdict was a bittersweet moment. They knew it wouldn't bring him back, but it was a measure of justice for the son, brother, and father they had lost. Michael's mother spoke to the press after the trial, her voice trembling with emotion. She said, "Michael was the heart of our family. He was kind, loving, and full of life. Lisa took everything from us, but she can never take his memory. We will carry him in our hearts forever." The arrests and convictions brought a sense of closure to Michael's family and friends. But the pain of losing him will never fully go away. His story is a reminder of the devastating effects of jealousy and betrayal, and of the importance of seeking justice for those who can no longer speak for themselves. The story of Michael Turner is more than just a tragic tale of betrayal and murder. It's a stark reminder of the darker side of human nature, a side driven by jealousy, obsession, and the willingness to harm those we claim to love. But it's also a story that forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the world we live in. This tragedy sheds light on the dangers of jealousy and obsession. It shows us how easily love can turn toxic, how quickly trust can be shattered, and how far some people are willing to go when consumed by rage. Michael's story is not an isolated incident. Across the world, countless lives have been destroyed by jealousy, manipulation, and betrayal. And while we can't always prevent these tragedies, we can learn from them. We can be more vigilant, more aware, and more protective of ourselves and our loved ones. It's a chilling reminder to be cautious about who we trust, especially when emotions run high. Michael's story is not just about a marriage gone wrong. It's about the devastating consequences of unchecked jealousy and the importance of seeking help when relationships turn toxic. Michael's story also reminds us to cherish the people we love, to hold them close, to tell them how much they mean to us, and to never take a single moment for granted. Because life is fragile, and it can be taken away in an instant. Let Michael's story be a call to action, a reminder to be vigilant, to protect ourselves and our loved ones, and to stand up against jealousy and betrayal wherever we see it. Let it inspire us to be kinder, more compassionate, and more aware of the people around us. Because in the end, it's not just about justice for Michael. It's about creating a world where stories like his don't have to happen. Thank you for joining us on this journey. May Michael's story remind us all to cherish the ones we love, to be vigilant in protecting ourselves, and to never stop fighting for a world where trust is sacred and love is never twisted into violence. As we come to the end of Michael Turner's story, our hearts go out to his family and friends. Michael's loss is a painful reminder of how fragile life can be, and how quickly it can be taken away. His kindness, his laughter, and his bright spirit will never be forgotten. To his loved ones, we offer our deepest condolences. May you find strength in the memories you shared and comfort in knowing that Michael's story has touched so many lives. Michael's story is a call to all of us to cherish the people we love, to be vigilant in protecting ourselves, and to never take a single moment for granted. It's a reminder that trust is sacred, and that jealousy and betrayal can have devastating consequences. But it's also a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is hope. Hope for justice, hope for healing, and hope for a better tomorrow. If you found Michael's story compelling, please consider subscribing to Crime Storyteller. By subscribing, you'll join a community of true crime enthusiasts who are dedicated to uncovering the truth, seeking justice, and honoring the memories of those we've lost. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and share it with others who might find it meaningful. Thank you for watching. Stories like Michael's remind us of the importance of staying informed, staying vigilant, and staying connected. Together, we can honor the memories of those we've lost and work toward a world where such tragedies are a thing of the past.